I'm out here hunting squirrel, and it's after the time when squirrels are really active. So I'm making this video, and we're going to focus on how good the Beavercraft Carving Axe, the AX1, is on green timber. So I have some green timber here. It was recently fallen, and I'm going to carve it up into a spatula, okay? And so we have two ends here. One is about the size of my wrist, and down here at the end, which is what we're going to use this part right here. We could use this as well, but I'm trying to make a little bit wider of a spatula. We're going to use this, and we're going to cut it from where this knot would be, where a limb was removed, and keep the rest of it, and then we'll use this for other projects. But I believe that a hatchet is really only useful for things that are about a wrist in diameter or bigger. And we want to get to the meatier part of the wood for the spatula. Now this is called green carving. This is, you know, like I said, it's fairly fresh. It still has a scent to it. I have no idea what kind of wood it is. I don't know if it's maple or what have you, but this is what we're going to use, okay? So a couple key principles: you always want to have a backstop like what I have here, and we're going to use this as an anvil. It looks like we've got something right there that was something at one point. We'll have to take it with us when we leave. So let's get to carving. So this is where I'm going to be swinging, and where I'm going to remove the wood so I can go like that. Take off the mask. Now whenever you chop, you want to basically make a down, which is your stop cut, and then you want to make your angle, and you never want to go towards yourself. So my stop cut is going to be just a little bit higher, right there. And then I'm going to go at an angle that way. In case anything slips, it's going to slip that way. It's not going to come towards me. All right. Grip up to be more precise. You can see how fast we've cut through that in just a little bit of time. I haven't sharpened this since I've got it. So now we got that notch. We can use that to rest against the log. You always want to move the piece, not necessarily yourself. Make sure that the piece accommodates you. And if you notice, I'm adjusting my hand from down here to up here. This is a very heavy head for a hatchet. I wish it was a little bit longer. Now, so far, that's really my only beef, is that I think for the weight of this head, it should actually have a longer handle. because when I go down, it kind of wears me out because of how it's shaped, because that's automatically putting it forward. Okay. Okay, so now we can trim this up. So what we're doing is we're using the weight of the hatchet itself to really hammer into this green wood. I'm trying to get it so that it cleaves through that branch as we get closer and closer. I don't know if it's going to work. I think it will, actually. It's starting to come through. So now, there we go. Now we take a look at this piece. You see this right here. So that's the layer. This is that limb we're going to cut through. And it's got, you see like an angle naturally going this way. So I think I'm going to make our spatula come up that way. So I'm making cuts all along here. That way I can just go at it like so. Show you from a different angle. Okay, so you can see the shape starting to curve up. Go ahead and clean this up. All right, so now we can see down here that this is really soft and splitting out. Probably for me, mash it down and how green this is, and this is definitely a soft wood at this point. I can for sure tell that. So we could make this our handle and make this side our spatula. So I think that is what we will do. So what I'm trying to do is use the beard down here to kind of make my fine cuts, and I'm slicing. Kind of going at a to make a nice smooth transition. Trying to find my angle. After I have my angle, I follow through. I start up at the top and work my way down. Okay, it's looking pretty good all in all. If you notice now, I'm doing push strokes. So I made my stop cuts, and I'm choking up on my axe. This gives me control of how deep and the angle that I want. It doesn't look all that pretty. It's pretty rough, but I can clean that up. Still have plenty of material to remove. So I'm moving the piece back and forth as I was bringing my axe down on the anvil. So that makes nice, consistent, even chops or cutting stops. And I'm only doing it on this side because this side's thinner than this side, so I'm trying to even it out. Then I go back to my push cuts, bracing it against the anvil for the log. All right. Now that we've removed material right here and right here, we should be able to kind of just chop it off for our handle. You don't want to be too aggressive, though. You want to be pretty precise with it. Otherwise, you have to start all over. Or you'll just have a different tool. Okay. I'm making tiny peaks as I'm going around and carving it to make this round. All right, now if I had a vise, this would be a lot easier. When I'm going down, all the way down this handle, very fibrous, and it splits easy. So I gotta be very careful. At this point, I'm just doing minor wood removal, not big chops, because there's that split and I could easily go too far and break the handle. I'm using that rocking motion to make those very close, detailed cuts. All right, so we got our handle, we got our overall shape of the spatula. We've got a lot more wood removal to do right here. And I think I'm gonna leave this as is. However, I am gonna make that a little bit flatter. There you have it, my friends. That is the Beavercraft Carving Hatchet, or Carving Axe AX1. And, well, I guess I should do the sharp test, right? Y'all, this thing's still super sharp. There's nothing like feeling something that's really sharp, and you can actually feel all the ridges of your thumb pad. And I could do like the fingernail, and it's still making curls on my fingernail. Now this is greenwood. I have no idea what kind of greenwood, but you know, if it was dry wood, who knows? Who knows? But I'm not sharpening it until it gets dull to see how long the edge lasts and what kind of abuse I can put through it before I have to sharpen it. But I hate sharpening a dull tool. I really do. I just like maintaining it. But, you know, a lot of y'all don't sharpen your tools as often as you should. So hence the ongoing experiment. So there you go. There is my little spatula. Most bushcrafty thing I've made on my channel in who knows how long. As of right now, when I was checking out the video, it's taken about 51 minutes to make this. So about an hour and you got it. And of course you probably don't have to worry about a camera and making sure everybody can see it. So your results will probably be very different. And if you're careful. Now the one thing I can tell you, here's some hints. Always start with a piece longer or bigger than you anticipate, because things go wrong, right? And don't forget, like I'm using the tip here or the handle here oftentimes against the anvil, and what happens, it's going to mushroom out just like what you see here. Okay, now if I made this a little bit longer, I was dealing with a knot, so it is what it is, but I can still wrap this and this will still be good for a long time. Always account for extra. That's the bottom line. And don't be afraid of using push cuts where you use your strength, use the curve of the blade, use that natural curve and slice through it. If this is a carving hatchet, it's not a splitting hatchet. It'll split and it'll chop, but as a carving hatchet, you got to keep that in mind, that you're using it oftentimes a lot more close and choked up like this than using this. For a lot of meat or material removal, then sure, use this. But oftentimes I found myself, especially with how short the handle is, the weight of the hatchet and everything, I keep going on about that, more in the middle than I do down here. So I tend to grab it here, or I choke up on it for the finer cuts. And don't forget to use the anvil and move the piece instead of the hatchet. You know, your hatchet should be all in one space. That's mechanical. And use your piece back and forth or rotate it however you need to. That way you're consistently making cuts, because you know exactly where that hatchet's going to be as is in your natural place. If you try to manipulate it with your arm, shoulder, or whatever, then that is going to create a lot of chaos in your space. So for carving and, to be honest, in general, if you can manipulate the piece, that's a lot better than manipulating this. All right, and don't forget that you can even use like use the anvil at the tip and then use that as kind of like a chopper or cutter or something like that to make some fine details. And don't forget to make your final additions, whatever that is, if you're going to round out the edges. Now you don't want super sharp edges on your carved pieces, because that's going to be areas for splintering and breaking. So having a little bit of convex shape to your piece is going to help it last and not be as brittle. So when you can, for your final, make long cuts, and you can always bring the piece again back to you instead of relying on your hatchet, kind of like you're doing a ferro rod. All right. Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna get us to my wife now. All right, now if you like this stuff, okay? If you like bushcrafting, if you like camp crafting, if you like learning from others in a very conducive environment for learning, where everybody really is a student, but also everybody is a teacher, then check out my Camp Crafters Guild, www.honorableoutfitters.com/join the guild. It's a paid community. You're not going to have a whole lot of riffraff in there. You don't have to worry about the ads and stuff like that. We have challenges, like this might be a challenge in the future, who knows? But you know, that's a great community. Check it out. Again, www.honorableoutfitters.com/join the guild. We are waiting for you to join us around the campfire. If you would like your own Beavercraft hatchet, my link is below. It is an affiliate link, so I do get, you know, money that helps support this channel. Feel free to shop around and see if there's somewhere else. But all in all, this is a really nice little hatchet. It's a nice carving hatchet, my first ever carving hatchet. It comes with a little belt loop, so you can just holster it right here on the side, let it go. It comes with the mask, and the leather's in really, really nice leather. It comes oiled and everything. So all in all, I give the Beavercraft AX1 an 8 out of 10. The only complaint that I really have is the length of the handle. It's the only complaint I have. The weight of it just kind of throws it off with such a short handle. Now, again, in the description box below, you can get your own. If you'd like to see more videos about camp tools, like knives and hatchets, various different uses and stuff, then check it out here. Don't forget to check out my video about the Preston Mess Kit, and fill out the link below if you would like to be on the list to get a Preston Mess Kit. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Give a kiss and hug to your loved ones, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.